So Stellar, yes. So to begin with, guys, I want you to say that Stellar it's not a non-profit project focused on providing everyone equal access to easy banking methods. It is a platform that connects banks, payment systems, and people. They provide financial integration to move money quickly, reliably, and at almost no cost. So that's probably a very common promise and statement for many projects that are currently existing in the market. But it's not a problem regarding Stellar. The legal entity behind this project called Stellar Development Foundation, and it was incorporated in 2014, and right now is based in San Francisco. And besides company, I just want you to present the basic notions and definitions that we're gonna review, and that are basically the base, actually the base of the Stellar product and its infrastructure. Okay, so the first one is a Stellar network. So the Stellar network presents a worldwide distributed collection of nodes running Stellar core software, working on Stellar protocol to agree on transaction sets, thus to sustain the network availability and prevent from malicious activity. So, other words, the Stellar network is a network of nodes that sustain the network. Nodes, if you do not know, nodes are computers that run in blockchain. In other cryptocurrencies, in case of Stellar, it is software, it is not blockchain. We will review it a bit later. So the Stellar network is a network of computers running Stellar software to sustain its distributed essence, entity, let's say so. The next one is Stellar. Okay, yeah, I just said it. This is about company. Lumen. So what is Lumen? Lumen XML. XML is a ticker, exchange ticker for this type of token. So Lumen is the native token or built-in asset of the Stellar network. The decimal of the Lumen is called Stroop. Stroops here. Okay, so decimals Stroops, and one Stroop equals 100,000th. Yeah, 100,000th of one lumen. The lumen serves several purposes for the network. First, the lumens are taken as a transaction fee. The size of the fee is fixed and can be changed in the next version of the network if decided by the community. By the community or the voters, the entities that have the voting rights, correct? Yeah. Secondly, they are reserved, lumens reserved on an account as a minimum collateral to enable sending function and to prevent the network from spam and cluttering by keeping account active or eliminating abandoned ones. So it's actually a good feature because if you do not know, many other currencies, cryptocurrencies, allow to create as many addresses as you want, and that probably can clutter the network and spam the network. So spamming can take power from the nodes that sustain the network. Thus the network can go slow. And in case of Stellar, if an account wants to be able to send money, This account must have a collateral. Right now it is, I believe, half of a lumen, something like this. Yeah, half of a lumen, but that depends on the size of the transaction you want to send. So the more, the bigger the size of the transaction you want to send, the bigger the collateral you have to keep, store or stake on your account, and that concerns especially financial institutions who, which are interested in sending big amount of transactions, and we're gonna talk about this in a couple of minutes as well. So I hope you're clear with lumens and strups as decimals for lumens. Then another notion that I want you to be familiar to, anchors or issuing accounts. So as the lumens present a unit of a value kept on the network, the Stellar network also serves as an asset ledger and provides accounts with assets issuing functionality. Any account creating assets on the network called anchors. The Stellar network also provides an infrastructure for a distributed exchange to exchange assets created or kept on the ledger, making stocks and other digital assets available for cross payments. Thus, users can pay units of assets at the point of sale as a general currency. So, what does that mean? That means a very interesting feature. So imagine you are a employee of Facebook or Google, doesn't matter, any company that has issued a big amount of stocks, okay, shares. So actually share is a security, so share has a value. It can be sold, it can be traded on exchange, so you can change your shares or your stocks for other currencies, USD, Euro, Japan yen, Russian rubles, doesn't matter. So it has a value. The stocks and the shares have a value. That's why they cost something. So they have they can be traded. But right now, trading assets and trading shares, it's quite a difficult process. So you have to be a certified broker, or you have to be connected to a certified broker. This broker has to have access to exchanges, and you contact, if you want to sell exchanges or button shares, you contact your broker. The broker sends an offer, so an offer is confirmed, and so on and so forth. So it takes time, and it's very time consuming and power consuming. I mean, human power consuming. And in case of Stellar, once you have Facebook or Google or any company shares, and if they have market appreciation, so they can be traded for any other currencies, you can pay with your stocks and your shares at a point of sale. Let's imagine you come to a coffee shop. By the way, the coffee is great. Once you come to a coffee shop and you want to order a cappuccino, and you have 1 million shares of Facebook and $0, you can pay with your shares of Facebook for a cappuccino. Sounds great. I'm not sure how it will be realized, so it's just in the promise, and the functionality is still in development, but it's a good feature, and it is actually a good step to develop cryptocurrency market and to bring cryptocurrency technologies to mass adoption. And we are moving forward. I hope you have no questions so far. So if you have questions, write down in the comments. I will be pleased to answer them. And just want to remind you that the full fundamental analysis will be published on zet.fund/zshop. Today we are going to review only the major factors, major metrics of an asset called Stellar, but full analysis, which is about 23, let me check how many pages. Yeah, 21 pages of information, interesting, checked and true to reality, almost, not almost, well, trying to make it almost 100 subjective, so only facts, no objective evaluations, only facts, only subjective, gosh, forbid me. Yeah, okay, so I need more coffee. Okay, yeah, find the full fundamental analysis on Zet Fund/zshop, and we continue with Stellar. What is next? So the next is a problem. So let's see what problem is what problem Stellar is trying to solve. So the first problem is transaction cost. The cross-border payments are highly expensive, especially for banks and infrastructure, such as wire transfers or transfers provided by money transferring companies such as Western Union, or what else companies? What other companies do you know? So I believe Western Union is the most popular one. Settlement times. Cross-border payments through banks currently take up to 5 days due to the number of intermediaries involved in the process. Similarly to the problem of transaction cost, this is also addressed by other cryptocurrencies. Infrastructure access. So nearly 2 million people being unbanked and facing economic constraints. Most of these people reside in lower income developing countries where it's hard to find access to a trustworthy or reputable bank. So 2 billion, I'm not sure, I might be mistaken, what is the current population of the earth? I believe it's 7 billion. So 2 billion, it's almost 1/3 of the whole population. So 2 billion, yes, that's a mistake. 2 billion people being unbanked and facing economic constraint. So 2 billion mostly from developing regions such as Asia and Africa, and I think MENA region, and probably Southern America. So yeah, 2 billion is a big number, and those people do not have access to any banking or financial infrastructure. Moreover, they have risks. They face risks operating, communicating with those infrastructures because of different reasons that typical, let's say so, for those regions where they live. So okay, so the problems are really true to the reality, and so it's a very serious problem, and the market is huge, and the market size, the market definition of Stellar we'll review in a couple of minutes. Let's now stick to review the problem solution. So what Stellar is offering to us, to the market, to solve those problems announced just before. So the first solution is actually the Stellar network itself. The Stellar network is an open software license I mean, open license software to be true with use cases, with such use cases. So micropayments can be executed through this network with a decreasing cost of smaller transfers and other incremental payment options. Stellar remittances feature facilitates low-cost international payments. Mobile money is aimed to make mobile financial platforms interoperable. Not sure about the pronunciation of this word. Interoperable, yeah, and to enable sending between different providers. Okay, so actually Stellar Network is a bridge between people to transfer money to each other, but there is a layer of fundamental organizations and institutions that actually provide sustain this network. And as I told before, so nodes. In the case of Stellar, yeah, we'll speak about nodes a bit later, in a couple of minutes. Damn, more coffee, need more coffee. So, Stellar Network is software, as you understand already. It is free to use, no restrictions on any commercial use of the Stellar Network. Typically, it takes between 100 up to 200 hours of technical development to integrate with Stellar Network. Stellar offers software, tools and documentation to assist the technical side of the integration process. Guys, if you watched the stream on Ripple, and we're gonna talk about Ripple as well, so you probably understood how Ripple works. So Ripple provides infrastructure to the existing infrastructure to infrastructure. Yeah, so Ripple provides software and tools to the existing infrastructure of the banking system. So banks and financial institutions and money transfer operators can switch to Ripple network, and as it is designed in such a way, so the integration is not very complicated, I believe. So for banks with big budgets and for money transfer operators, that's not a big problem to spend couple of hundreds or even millions to integrate in a very sufficient, up-to-date technology. So Ripple provides this type of like layer for banks and financial institutions to connect between each other and to provide new services at lower cost to their customers. In case of Stellar, Stellar provides kind of platform for developers and for existing financial institutions and banks. So I think you should consider Stellar as a Android operating system for banks and financial applications developers. So it is a set of tools, it is a platform, it is a set of technologies that allows third-party developers to connect or develop a new platform, a new application, and be connected to the Stellar network, thus to provide new type of services to their customers. I hope that difference is clear to you. If not, you know what to do. Write in the comments your questions. So, what else is provided by Stellar? It is Horizon API. Yeah, as I said, Horizon API is an API, simply a set of tools and building blocks for creating software applications. Horizon is a RESTful API that allows submission of transactions to the network, checking the status of accounts and subscribing to event streams. So yeah, I just want to say that Stellar Core is the distributed Stellar network, is made up service running the Stellar Core software. Yeah, is it on the presentation? Just let me check. We have Stellar network, we have Horizon. Okay, so there is such a notion as Stellar Core. So the Stellar Core is a software that is run on nodes of the Stellar network. Those servers are maintained by different individuals and entities. So the Stellar Core maintains a local copy of the network ledger, communicating and staying in sync with other instances of Stellar Core of the network. So Stellar Core is actually the software that is kept and run on those nodes that present and sustain the Stellar network. And I just want you to be familiar with Stellar protocol, consensus protocol. So it is not a blockchain protocol as in other cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies. So the protocol works through the use of quorums, a set of nodes used to reach an agreement on a set of transactions. And also there is Stellar consensus adds social identity and reputation for trust lines. That makes the Stellar protocol more secure and more trustworthy comparing to other protocols. So there is a trade-off between Stellar versus other digital currencies protocols. The Stellar protocol what is it? It is different from proof of work because like there in the network with the proof of work consensus, there is no identity and reputations. In some protocols there is reputation feature, in some of them there is no. So each node communicates with one another and accepts verification and reach consensus every 2 and 5 seconds with other trusted peers. Eventually you have an entire network of peers that trust each other mutually through other trusted peers. This is how the Stellar consensus protocol forms consensus about who can actually form consensus in the first place without creating a central body that owns it all. So the nodes are actually, it is very similar to Ripple. So nodes are presented by identified, known big institutions or companies that have a proof, that have some reputation and status in the market, in the business in general. So, and those nodes, they sustain the network, thus they provide the network, they keep the network running and operating, and thus the whole network is trusted based on that principle. Okay, guys, you see that my network is not operating very well, so I need to upgrade my nodes. Market.